Okay, welcome to episode 9. We are going to implement our jump animation and our death animation. All right, so here we go. Back into our animator, it should be right here, or you can click on your player and zoom down and double click right there on your controller. And so we're going to create some transitions. Now for jump and for death, these are going to be occurring from the any state is how we're going to enter them. Okay, so this is really helpful. Now I know normally this is going to be coming only from the run state in our video game, but any state's good, especially if you implement later a double jump or some type of power up. So we're just going to allow this to happen from any state. We're going to play this animation. Okay, so we're going to right click, make transition to the jump animation. All right, so in jump here now, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure there's no exit time, which is how it defaulted, and we're going to set duration time to 0. And really important, can transition to self. We do not want that. We don't want jump to transition to jump. If we were implementing a double jump, we would set that up in a different way probably. But for now, make sure you click that extra box. And that's because this animation does not loop, so we don't want it to transition to self. All right, what are our conditions? Well, pretty simple actually. Speed, in this case, we're never jumping straight up. So the speed parameter doesn't matter actually. We just want is grounded to be false. So as soon as that returns false, it's going to play our jump animation. Okay, and so that's going to work already as is, but we're going to be stuck. So I'm going to actually let this play and show you what happens. So we are, okay, and I'll press any key and jump. Plays my jump, but then it freezes. Look, my jump animation is stuck because it's not transitioning to self and it has no transition out. So we're stuck. So get out of play mode and we're going to create a couple more transitions here. So I need a transition to go back to idle and a back to run. And these are both super similar. So we'll first do one that goes right back to the run. This transition, how it's going to work is, of course, speed's going to be greater than 0.1. Oh, apologies, I should go back up. No exit time, turn on settings and set that to 0. Almost forgot that. Okay, speed greater than 1. And of course, grounded needs to be true. Okay, so that'll transition us back to the run. Now, I know in our game we're not transitioning back to the idle directly from a jump. But I guess, no, that could happen if we run into a hazard. So this transition is going to be, again, no exit time, duration set to 0. And then our parameter here is going to be very similar. We're going to set speed less than 0.1 because this is our idle. And we're also going to add is grounded needs to also be true, and that'll transition back to the idle. Let's test that now, and I think everything should work perfectly. Okay, so it's playing our idle. We start to run, we jump, and look at that, back into our run as soon as I land. Looking good. And I like the timing of my frame on my jump. Everything's looking really good. So let's work on our death animation. So what we want to do is first create our transition from, we're going to use the any state again. So whether we're in the air, if we're in idle or running or jumping, we want to be able to transition to death if we hit a hazard or a wall. So we'll switch this and then let's grab this transition here. And we're going to have no exit time, of course, again, 0 on the duration. And please make sure you cannot transition to self. Click that as well. Okay, and then down here we just need one single parameter, and you probably guessed it, we just need to go down to the is dead and make sure it is set to true. Now we do have to add one extra condition on the other because we have two transitions from the any state. We can get a glitch if we die while jumping, so we actually need to make sure that this one also only plays oh, I've already added it, so make sure you add this now. So I'll just show. So normally that one wasn't there. I must have added it previously when I was testing. So you're just going to add the is dead. Okay, check here and make sure that that is false. Okay, so now we've set up our parameters, and as usual, we're going to pop back into our code to control it. Now, is dead, we're going to do a couple things different. So when do we want this to return true? Well, it's inside of this collision script. So before we do the respawn method, we're going to want to play this animation. We're going to do a couple tweaks here. So I'm just going to press enter, and in here, what we want to have is we're going to set that bool. So just like before, animator.set bool, and we're going to set that capital I is dead, and we're going to set that to, of course, true. Okay, so that will now play the animation, which is what we wanted. Okay, perfect. Now there's a problem that's going to occur here, and to save time, I don't think I'll show you. You can pause it and see what it does and test it. But the problem is this animation is going to it's going to respawn us immediately. So the death animation is actually going to play after we get teleported. That's a problem. So we need to delay this, and there's a really easy way to delay a method by a certain amount of time, and it's called the invoke. So I'm just going to press enter, and the invoke method allows me to invoke any of my methods or functions, but I have to put them in string format. So I'm going to type in exactly respawn as a string, and then I'm going to put a restart delay. So I'm actually going to create a variable for this. I could put in a number, usually 1.5 is good depending on your animation, but I'm going to go quickly up here and declare a public float for this. Anywhere up here is fine, so public float, we're going to call this respawn delay. Okay, and we'll set that in the inspector. So let's go back down here, and we'll use that now, this new respawn delay, and that's going to decide how long we wait before we run this function. So I'm just going to comment this out. Whoops, fix that. Undo is my favorite button. Yeah, just going to comment out the line respawn because I'm not going to run that. Okay. What else do I need to fix? Oh, we need to set that bool back to false. So when we respawn, we're going to want to set that back to false. So in here, we're respawn, we're going to press, it doesn't really matter where we put it. It seems to make sense. After we set the velocity to 0, I'm going to set it to true. So we're going to go RB sorry, not rb.velocity. I'm basically going to, let's just copy paste this line. Control C, Control V, and now we're going to make it false because now we're back alive. We've respawned. Okay, now I know we're going to have a problem here, but I want you to see it. So I'm going to press Control S. This should work, but we're going to run into a weird glitch. So let's go back into Unity here and see how this looks. Okay, let's test it out. Press play. And let's see if my death animation plays when I hit those spikes. Oh, we got a problem. It's playing it right away. And that, I know right away, is, let's go back to my player. Remember we made that respawn delay? Here it is here. It's set to 0, so we have no delay. I'm going to try 1.5. I think that's going to look good for my animation. You can tweak this number as you need. So 1.5 seconds. Let's try that again. And here we go. I'm running. And we hit the spike. Okay, now you can see I kept moving. So if I let's see if I can actually land on top of that spike. Yeah, that's a problem. Oh, we got something else going on too. Yeah, so when I don't know why it's respawning me there. I must be having some type of collision. Yeah, so what's happening here is I don't want my animation to keep moving like that. So to fix that, you might like that. You might like your death animation to have your character keep moving. Now, of course, if I hit the wall, that's no problem. I can't move anyways because I'm stuck at the wall. But we can see here, Yeah, and of course, this respawns just fine. But I don't want my animation to keep moving like that because of the type of animation I have. You might be okay with that. You can leave it. But I don't like it. So we're actually going to modify the code just slightly here. And we're going to do something where we're going to turn off the rigid body. Okay? So this is a little bit strange, but I want you to see how it works. So as soon as I have this collision, I want to turn off the rigid body. So we go rb.simulated and we're going to set that to false. So what this does is it stops all physics from acting on our rigid body. So basically freezes it in space. Right where we want it. Now, of course, we can't move our player after that, so we're going to need to turn that back on. That's super important. So we're going to go back into the respawn here, and right when I set the velocity to 0, I also am going to turn on the RB simulated and set that back to true. And now that I've done that, this should work nicely. Yeah, respawn position, velocity. We're running the respawn now after we collide with a hazard. Everything should work nice. So let's give it a test here. And I'm pretty sure I saved that. There we go. So now I'm not floating away. If I land right on top of the spikes, yep, I'm not floating away. And that delay is a little too long for mine. I would like, yeah. Or I almost need a frame where that last bit of dust goes away. But that's up to you. I think I'll leave it as is there. So there we go. We have a run, we have a jump, and we have a collision death animation playing. And that's going to conclude this video. We'll see you in the next episode.